A proper funeral service was held in Haraza vicinity, Irob district, Eastern Tigrai, in attendance of the family members of the 4 victims who were killed on January 2021 by Eritrean forces. The family members of the victims say teachers, health professionals, and farmers whose bodies were thrown all over the valleys in the wild are among the victims. Unattended in the funeral service says Eritrean forces mercilessly killed his nephew while he was on medical duty.
ምንም ብዘይካ ሕክምና ካልእ ነገር ምንም ናይ ወታደራዊ ኩነታት ዘይፈልጥ.
They killed a doctor who only knew about medication but not military-related issues. His mother faced a lot of challenges raising him. It was at the time when he started a job and made a living to support his mother that he was killed.
Another attendant, a widowed housewife with 4 children, Abrahad Desta, says Eritrean forces took her husband from home and killed him. And since then, she has been grieving his days for more than 2.5 years.
ጨከነት ሻዕቢያን ካብ ገዛ ውፅኦም ሕፃውንቲ እናበኸዩ
The vicious Eritrean soldiers took him to the wild while the children were crying and murdered him brutally. Eritrean forces were threatening us with weapons and denied us the chance to see his body for 3 weeks. It has been 3 years since we've started grieving at home. We're living in sorrow and despair.
During the funeral service, the families of the victims say they were hiding from Eritrean forces while collecting the remnants of the corpse to protect it from being eaten by wild beasts. They added the agents of these atrocities must be held accountable.
The bodies were buried in the wild for a long time, and we are grateful for the community here for collecting the corpse, covering with the dust, and burying it in the wild to protect from a wild animal. We need the international community to bring the perpetrators to justice.
We've come here to pick up the bodies from where they've been dumped and give them a proper funeral service in the church. I'm in big trouble because I lost my husband. We're expecting justice to be served, and the brutal Eritrean forces are held accountable for what they've done.
The families of the victims say Eritrean forces occupy 4 out of the 8 vicinities in Irob district. They add the presence of these forces is the reason for their displacement, living apart with their beloved ones, forceful disappearance. They say the existence of the Irob community is in a grave danger.
The Irob community is in a lot of misery. Roads are blocked and people are kidnapped every day. 30 residents of Inda vicinity were kidnapped by the invaders and they never come back alive. If this continues, the Arab community will cease to exist.
Families of the victims call for the federal government to immediately act in withdrawing the Eritrean forces so that they can meet with their beloved ones who are under the invading forces.
ዘይሩ ናይ ፕሪቶሪያ ስምምዕነት ያው ተፈሪሙ ይባሃል ንህዝቢ ኢሮብ ግን እዚ ዝበሃል ዘምፀልና ረብሓ የለን.
The peace deal signed in Pretoria brought empty promises to Arab community. There is no humanitarian aid. Roads are blocked. Displaced people have not still returned, and Eritrean forces are forcibly detaining innocent civilians. The federal government has the responsibility to withdraw the invading Eritrean forces, and the people can live peacefully with their beloved ones who were under the invaders. We called for all concerned bodies that are assumed to stand for justice to pay attention to our miseries and help us out at the shortest possible time.